Hey, what's up, fam?
What's up with it, bro?
How you feeling?
Hey, man, I'm good. I was waiting to tap in with you. Finally, I got you on here.
Yes, sir. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm just vibing, man, looking at everything, taking it all in,
Okay.
stuff like that. You good with you? You good? Your people good?
Yes, sir. I love your
Yeah,
fit,
that's
man.
man, that's dope. I just threw something on right quick. I've been doing these interviews and shit. I got to make sure I just throw something on. You know what I mean?
Original though.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So yeah, we're gonna get it started, man. This Flamingo Fred and the Bird of Paradise podcast, sponsored by Folded Waffle Blog, man. Introduce yourself, tell us who you are and where you're from, man.
What's good, y'all? I go by P.G.L.U, aka PG. How I started off with some songs. From Chicago. I'm about to turn the big 3-0 soon. So I'm getting there, but I've been in the game for about 4 or 5 years. Um, yeah, just pushing through some hip hop.
Yeah, most definitely. I was checking out your stuff, man. I noticed you had I was thinking I was throwing on this little fit. I was like, man, what I'm gonna throw on? I had just take a little cat nap, but this fit was reminding me of something you had on in a couple of your little style and a couple of your little videos I was watching. You had the little hip hop feel. I remember y'all had some little theatrics and stuff going on in some of your videos.
Right, right. I see you with the bucket hat. Okay.
Hey, and I'm a West Coast cat. We on the West Coast right now. I'm up in
Okay.
Oregon, but I'm from the Bay Area. I'm from San Francisco, so
Oh yeah.
that's more. The bucket hat is more East Coast, type thing.
Yeah, that's what's up. I was just in LA like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, what was you doing out there? Just moving and grooving.
Yeah, but I was shooting some music videos. I shot, I think, went from LA to Vegas. We shot about 5 music videos. I was
Mm,
supposed to shoot music video. I'm not sure if you heard of him, but Young Sam, the ones that started the jerkin movement. He's one of the
mm-hmm,
OGs. I was supposed to shoot there, but he was on tour with Sada Baby, and
mm.
so things didn't happen. But still got him locked in the song, and I'm about to come there probably early next year and see what's up.
No, that's dope, man. I love to hear. I'm an artist too myself. I love, talking to artists and, we was looking at your stuff. Me and the blog thought you was dope, wanted to get you on here. I love hearing about artists, networking and growing and, you know, hopefully, the next step. I'm hoping, next times we talk, you on that even a higher level about to, you know what I mean, hit that next, wave.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
appreciate you. Yeah, I
And,
mean,
and
shit. If you do music, bro, let's tap in. Let's collab for sure.
Yeah, man, we got to collab most definitely. I love, the underground artists and different stuff and unique people, stuff that stands out. I've been looking forward to this interview with you and tapping in. So a question like I don't try to do my shit like other podcasts. I'm an artist. I just like to tap in, have real conversation. So you're going out to LA, you're trying to shoot 5 videos because the average person don't understand how much work this take. So when
Yeah.
you're going out there shooting 5 videos, you got a team of people, you doing it with like one or two of your homies, or how you doing it? Because knocking out 5 videos takes some work.
Yeah, honestly, I was just out and about for maybe 5 days, right? And
Mm-hmm.
fucked up thing is, right before we were about to leave for Vegas, we're still in LA. We rented a car, and they ended up giving us an electric car, which is
Damn.
really bad because if you move from LA to Vegas, it's all like wasteland type shit, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
was very hard to find an outlet that supercharges electric cars.
Mm.
We spent probably overall for that day, we spent about 8 hours just trying to charge up. Um,
Damn.
but yeah, to answer your question, I linked in with my videographer. Shout out to Fusion Productions and my photographer, and he also directs. Shout out to BK. Yeah, we just made things happen. Before that, we had to storyboard what we were trying to do for the concepts. Obviously, linked in with the site where you peer space where you could book things. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and just after booking things, we just lined everything up, storyboarded, see what concepts we can bring out for each video, and just made it happen. We just got to push through.
Yeah, most definitely. Because people don't understand. When you're working at this point, that's a lot of work putting in. That's five different ideas, five different outfits, this, and that. All this stuff goes into on top of being out in LA, moving and
Right.
grooving out there, and all the stuff that comes with that. So that's impressive, bro. That's dope. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it.
I haven't shot that many videos at one time, but to do that, take some work and some grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's dope.
It took a long while, some things don't happen the way that you wanted to or foresee it, but you just gotta adapt.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you got that hunger. I mean, there's different types of people. We're all trying to get to, where we want, especially when you're a creative and trying to climb. We're gonna all hit where we want to go at a certain point. Sometimes some people will never hit that, but I've worked with a lot of artists, and I mean, I remember being in the days. I think I was in the studio one time in a day, and I dropped like 13 verses, you know what I mean?
Whew,
In the studio one day. And this was
okay.
years ago, you know what I mean? I dropped like 13 verses, like shout out to my partner Verseborn from Conquest, but he had the studio set up in the Bay. And I mean, I'm working, dropping something, people coming through. They want to get me on the track. I'm dropping with them. I'm dropping. And I always remember that, like, man, I dropped like 13 verses one day. So when you said 5 videos, that's even more intense. That's what it made me think of, that hard ass work ethic.
But bro, 13 is crazy because you got to keep in mind for people that aren't doing music or that do music, each song has its own style. No matter what style or your cadence is, you always have to bring on something new. So you're going with one song and then you switch up so many times, bro. You're versatile as fuck, and that's dope.
And the hardest thing for me is coming up with an idea. If I'm coming up with the idea for the track myself, that might take me a little longer. But if you throw an idea at me for a verse, and that was years ago. Who knows how many verses I could drop? If I already got the idea, like, hey, this track is about zombies on Halloween. Okay, I got that. Boom, let's go. I could do that all day. But coming up with the idea, that's the hardest part.
I agree. Sometimes it's definitely easier to just hop on a verse and kill it because they already set the tone. You just got to do your thing, make it match. But I agree. Being original and coming up with your idea that takes longer.
No, most definitely. So I know we chalk you from Chicago.
Yep.
Okay, what's your like ethnic background?
I'm actually a Filipino, and
Oh, dope.
yeah, most Filipinos they're mixed with a bunch of things. So I'm like little percent like European, Spanish, part Chinese, but the main gist is Filipino.
Dope. I'm from the Bay. We got a big Filipino community in the Bay Area. We got hella partners. We used to play ball and all kind of stuff. So that's dope. So how do you feel like, you know, being a Filipino artist in Chicago and being from the area? Like, how is that? Because I mean, I got some family out in Chicago, but I ain't never really been out there myself. But how do you feel like it's being a Filipino artist in Chicago?
Yeah, you gotta visit, bro. But Filipino artists, I think to me, overall, just being a Filipino rapper and Asian rapper, we don't really see that too often in the media. There's a select few, but nothing really mainstream. And I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't say my style is mainstream. I'm very like eccentric with my verses or, come up with some like weird shit. But honestly, I think like it doesn't really phase me as much, but I'm not gonna lie, coming into the music game, I really thought like, are people gonna accept my music because of what I look like or my skin tone? And
Mm-hmm.
even till now, my job where I work at, they found out that I rap a few months ago, and people treated me differently. Some people loved it. Some people were like, he's all cap and all that shit. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
you don't really know where your influences are, and you don't know what a person does behind closed doors. So you can't,
Mm-hmm.
you could judge, but you don't really know the aspect of it. But for
Yeah.
me, right now, I think I'm accepting the fact that not everyone has to appreciate your music. You do music for yourself, and if people jive with it, then they jive with it.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like growing up in the, Bay Area, there's different Asian communities, but like I said, in the Bay Area, I mean the closest Asian community to the Black community to me has always been the Filipino community and stuff
100%.
like that. Growing up in the Bay Area, like I got Filipino people or like through marriage and cousins and different stuff. Like the Filipino community, at least in the Bay Area, has always been close to the Black community. Have you ever heard of an artist called Talilo? Um,
No.
he's I'm over here in Oregon. I know he spent some time in the Bay Area. He spent some time in Southern Oregon, but he moved back up to Portland, the Portland area. And he's doing a lot of community work here. We did some community work here with the children through Ascend and Flow. We used to mentor kids and do community work like that. He gathered a lot of us, hip hop artists together and different people in the community that kind of had some pull and brought us into that. But you should look into a cat named Talilo. He's a Filipino artist up in Portland doing his thing.
Yeah, okay. I got you. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna tap
so
in.
had to give him a shout out and much love. He's doing his thing and doing this, that, and the third. But he's a dope artist. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. But who would you say? Like I said, I was listening to your style. I seen like a lot of hip hop elements. I seen a lot of things that I like. It was had some acting and stuff going on. Who was you? Well, like what artist made you want to rap growing up?
100% Eminem. Eminem
Mm.
is that dog for me. Growing up in the Philippines, because I had migrated here when I was roughly 7, 8 years old.
Oh,
And
damn, dope.
yeah, hip hop was not a big thing in the Philippines. We had
Mm.
this one rapper who his name's like Francis Magdalena or whatever. But he was supposed to be a rap, right? And he does have some rhymes, but it's more like what you look at it now, it's kind of more poppy, yeah. Um, Alternative pop type shit. So with that being said, I came here when I was young, and the first song that I heard that I fell in love with in hip hop is "Without Me" by Eminem in the Eminem
Mm-hmm.
Show. And I remember growing up, I wanted his album, the Eminem Show. And I kid
Mm-hmm.
you not, I literally memorized the whole lyrics and recited it to my mom just so I could buy the album.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. That's a dope story. And I mean, I feel like Eminem had a thing for everybody. Like Eminem, was hot because I was, a kid also. When I first heard about Eminem, like we were in San Francisco in the area, where my family had businesses where I spent a lot of time, but it was in the Fillmore district. And there was this kid, my dad actually had dated his mom. His name was Paul Tanner. I'll never forget him. But he had like went somewhere, he had came back to like our business one day and he's spitting this whole verse. He's like, "Oh, you took the guinea pig and popped it." He's spitting this whole verse. And we're like, what the hell is this? He's spitting like the whole verse. And we're like, what the hell is this? So didn't really pay attention. And
Right.
then my pops, he always used to drive these vans, had beat in it or whatever. He has this album and he's playing it. We're in Daly City at this small ceremony, which also they have a big Filipino community in Daly City. We just so happen to be out there. And I'm hearing this dude rap and I'm thinking it's a black dude. Like I never heard no shit like this before. And come to find out, it was Eminem, that first album he had, and how wild that was. And I mean, I had that album on repeat.
Right. Right. I
You
mean,
know,
I think his music, as eccentric as it is, like people want to hear something different. People want to hear something like out the ordinary. But also he has some shit that makes you really tune in where it's like, okay, like I hear what you're spitting because that type of shit has happened to me.
oh, most definitely. That's dope. If there was any artist right now that you could work with, who would you like to work with?
100% Eminem.
Mm,
I feel like my flow and how weird I get, I feel like that would really tap into his old Slim Shady ways where he kind of brought it back with a music to be murdered by.
yeah. Yeah, man, you gotta manifest it, and it can happen. I mean, I remember Logic kind of popped up on the scene, you know what
Right.
I mean, doing his thing, and next time, your next thing he's working with Eminem. Like Eminem has done some surprise features and stuff like that, and shown some love to some people and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, man, you gotta manifest it. I'll root for you to make it happen.
I appreciate you, dog. I actually tapped in with his. I don't know if you remember them, but D12, his old music group.
Oh, of course, I remember them.
I tapped in with a couple of their members, and I actually have a song that's already made. I just have to release it with Kaniva, and I'm about to get Bizarre on the track, and hopefully, you know how close knit they are, and little steps, hoping that Eminem hears it.
Man, hey, you made it that far, man. You made it a million times further than the average person. I mean, you know how this stuff goes with networking. I think people sometimes get away from that, but you got to work with people and work with who's working. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right.
That's what we're doing. And I mean, if you made it that far to get D12 members, you know what I mean, on there, you could build a rapport with them, man. You could make it happen.
Facts, 100%.
you know Most definitely. So I asked this question, and it's real, because I've seen some crazy stuff happen and things get wild, like on a show or on tour, anything, or just related to music. Like, what's a crazy story that you've seen happen? Crazy story, funny story at an event, at a show, at a tour, anywhere. You know what I mean? We all have like crazy tour story or show story or something like that.
To me, honestly, nothing too crazy, but I would say the first concert or show that I actually did. Shout out to Zydo because they hosted the event. Um, it was pretty much like a Lollapalooza type shit, right? So you get a
Hmm.
stage, you get a bunch of artists to perform and all that, and they brought in like big names of like Nike Boy Swoosh, DCG Bros, like bigger people.
Hmm.
And I was the last artists to perform before the headliners, right? So I was
Hmm.
pretty much like headlining type shit with them. But me, I just wanted to do my show and get it over with to see how that feels. And when I did my segment, my track list, I could not even imagine. Like I wouldn't be able to fathom how the crowd's reaction was. There was like about 250 people right there,
Hmm.
and they were like singing along to my songs, and they were going crazy. They were just clapping and like giving applause, and to me that's insane because at the end of the night, the person that hosted it said that I was the best person that performed there, and to me
Yeah.
that just proved to me why I do this shit.
Yeah, that's a beautiful feeling, and like a natural high, and it lets all this work that we put into this as artists, and doing different stuff like that. Like, all we're trying to do is get our craft out there and get it to certain people. I think sometimes with hip hop now, there's so many people just hopping in the music game or whatever else, that people don't realize how much work and how much time and how much blood, sweat, and tears like have gone into this. Like, I had this talk with my partner Versmore all the time. Like, people don't know how many times we got them tax returns, man, and go spend that whole tax return on equipment, studio time,
Studio, yep,
this, and that. Like, you go look at it, like, over the years, how much you invested. Like, yeah, bro, I could have did a lot of other things with this money and made some stuff happen.
100%. I agree, and I know for a fact that every project that I do, taking recording time, the buying of the beats or leasing it, whatever. If you want to shoot a video, all of that just by itself is at least $1,000, and then you got to spend your shit on marketing. Find the actual marketing, not like bots and shit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot plays into it.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like, I've made myself pretty, self-sufficient. I gotta from filming to be able to do that, to be able to make beats, to be able to edit footage, to having lighting, to like so much goes into this and stuff you bought to just finally get to another level. And I wish success on a lot of artists, yourself, and people I interview, because man, I know what work goes into that. Just like yourself, people don't realize how much that takes to fly somewhere, or go by car, however you get somewhere, set up 5 videos, pay for yourself to be in a whole different location and do all that stuff. Like, a lot of people are taking vacations and going to relax with that time. No, you're going somewhere and going to Vegas, going to LA, going here and shooting all these videos. Like,
Right.
that's work and grind.
Right. And shout out to my team for being there for my backbone. Because obviously, you're self-sufficient. You can do all the stuff that's behind the scenes. But unfortunately I can't. So I'm very thankful for my photographer and editor, my videographer, Zai, and BK, doing the directing, as well as my homie Doves. Like, we build things as a team. And sometimes it's hard because the artists or the team members, sometimes they stray a fact, or you lose hope sometimes because this shit is not easy, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if you have a goal, fucking reach for it, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, the thing that I realized, like, and I tell this story often when I'm doing these interviews now, like, I remember my partner Verseborn, like, when I just was starting getting serious about music, like, we was coming up, like, he let me into the studio, gave me full access to the studio. At that point, of course, you think you're about to blow up overnight, but really you're just happy to be an artist, happy to hear yourself on a record. Man, so ecstatic to just be able to do that. And now, as you've grown as an artist and as a talent, like, I'm hosting different events, I'm hosting parties. I do multiple things besides just a artist. I got a
Right.
podcast and do whatever. And now I'm realizing for myself, okay, I'm a talent. You need a team of people that does this stuff for you, to make it easier for you to create. Like, my job is to create and talk and do me and whatever. So you need those team of people that might edit footage or film this or do that, just so you could be mentally clear to create.
100%. You know, our jobs as a creator, it's already hard enough. So I definitely agree. You need the people that will support you.
No, most definitely. Most definitely. Um, if there's any producer, do you have any producers that you really like in the industry right now that you like to work with?
Um, Back then I used to be big on producers. Right now, to be honest, where I find my beats is on YouTube. You just search
Mm-hmm.
type beat, and it pops up.
Yeah.
Um, but honestly, I've been on a song with Cashman AP. That's a bigger one. But if I got to actually work with a producer, it would be probably a Day Trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's dope. Most definitely. I know one of my favorites right now is, like, that I've been back into. Of course, I like Mad Lib and Doom, but I've been, of course, The Alchemist. I've just been watching everything he's doing. He's kind of had a resurgence. Well, I'm not gonna say resurgence. Sometimes people take offense when you say something like that, but he just had an album with Larry June, and Larry June's from the Bay Area. So, I'm looking at these type of beats that he's dropping. It's like, wow, because for us, we're out here on the West Coast. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And there's hip hop out here, but the Bay Area has been more like a different type of, like, I don't know how to explain the type of music, but it's like, like hustler type music, like just different stuff like that. Like hip hop, they've always looked at it as like more of a East Coast thing. So
yeah,
now when you have a producer like The Alchemist, producer for somebody like Larry June, and they're dropping, which is basically hip hop, but kind of Bay Area type beats, it's like, wow, this is kind of the vibe we've been trying to be on for years now, and it's coming to the forefront. So that's a beautiful thing.
right. And that inspires people. You hear something that you're looking for, and you're like, "Fuck it, let me write."
Yeah, most definitely. Have you I kind of touched on this earlier, but have you felt like the scene in Chicago has embraced you? You know what I mean? Because of course you know what the mainstream Chicago is like, Chirac and you know, all the different artists that come from Chicago. So I know on a local level, there's probably a bunch of different music scenes and stuff like that. So have you feel like they have embraced you, or you got your own scene that you belong to out there?
Um, to be honest, yeah, I feel like they have embraced me. Because I've been on sets with all these different artists that do like drill music to like rock or punk rock, and then hip hop or shit that I do rap. Um, but yeah, I feel like they have embraced me, and I would say that because I work at shout out to MV Studios. That's where Juice World first blew up on, and
Mm-hmm.
I've built my relationship with shout out to Dro. That's my engineer that I mainly work with. He was the one alongside the owner Will. They were the ones that worked with Juice World, and
Mm-hmm.
for them to say that I actually have potential and see all the type of shit that I've been working on and putting in work, um, I feel like hip hop nowadays, even though it's Chirac, uh, there's so many lengths to hip hop where you don't just have to be that one subset. You could just be completely your own, and you being your genuine self, people are going to be attracted to that.
No, most definitely. And like, you know, you stood out to me, just your swag and you know what I mean, being an Asian artist, Chicago. I'm like, okay, this dude is doing his thing. I'm looking at, you know, your content and different stuff like that. I'm feeling it because like I obviously my name is Flamingo Fred, you know what I mean? Like I like shit that's out of the box. I'm kind of an undercover nerd. Like I like, you know, different type shit. My plan is to make, you know, independent films also with the music. Like I like different shit out of the box, different styles,
Right.
different like philosophies that come with it. And you know, not every artist has that. A lot of artists have, you know, they can just rap good. You know what I mean? There's no personality that comes with them. And the first thing I notice about you, I mean, of course, there's personality when I see you. I'm like, okay, this dude is hip hop. Okay, damn, he's an Asian artist. He's in Chicago, man. Dude is, you know, overcoming the obstacles to be that. Okay, dude's doing his thing, and that stands out the box to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate you for that.
Yeah. So, you know, that's a beautiful thing. I'm glad you guys are doing the thing out there in Chicago. What do you think about drill music? Like, what do you think about this drill music? Like, I seen like the little Mabu, like from New York, and Krayshawn with Blueface and all that type of stuff. And this drill music kind of is big out there. I think it's kind of like a subgenre.
It is. And what I feel about that is, personally, I feel like drill came from New York and Chicago, and they
Mm-hmm.
just put their twist on it. But I'm not knocking on people, but I feel like drill has started to go down. We've seen that the past couple years. Like drill was huge. Remember Slim Jesus and the
Mm-hmm.
white dude who was just like, rapping and shit. That was big back then, but now it's starting to slim down. And like you said, you could take Mabu for an example. Drill, right? Hip hop, rap. And then a couple songs, once he got his name established, he switched over to actual rap where he was in like a spaceship, like a
Mm-hmm.
rocket ship. And he was like, no, I do this for my brothers and shit. And it's like he's not really taking that aspect of the drill anymore and not trying to capitalize on that because now he knows maybe I'm wrong, but to me, once you're locked into one type of genre, it's hard to stray away because people are always going to expect you in that genre.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I remember coming up in the Bay Area, a big thing was the hyphy movement. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I thought the hyphy movement was just the greatest thing ever. But of course, I'm a Bay
Oh,
Area kid. Like I just thought that was like this was gonna be forever a thing in music. Like it was kind of, if you think about it, it was kind of like psychedelic. Everything was bright, like kind of a psychedelic city urban thing with dancing and the
right.
hippie elements and stuff. And I was like, when I first kind of got into music with my partner Firstborn, like my style was kind of like up tempo, like hyphy. And then I kind of watched it die down, and I was like, damn, it was kind of hurtful because I thought it was like the dopest shit ever. Like it was a movement on just a life, and it kind of just went away.
Right. And honestly, that's how I feel with like my songs. People see my songs as the ones that are actually popping, like okay, eccentric, but people have to understand that there are levels to life, and you don't just have to keep making the same thing. Like
Yeah.
Lil Nas X, for example, he stuck with. He was like, "Oh, he's the one that brought country and hip hop together," which he did, 100%, in my opinion. Uzi got on the track and country. Polo G now, but
Mm-hmm.
like if you see it, he bridged off into his own thing, pop, rap, whatever. And there's just ways that you can aspire to reach your own certain goals, and at the end of the day, you have to reach it.
Most definitely, man. Any last little shout outs you want to give out, man?
I think I shouted out enough people. Shout out to my engineer Dro, Envion, BK, Zai, Dubs, Mark, all the people that withstood all the adversities. Shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you for having me
Yeah.
on this interview.
Most
And yeah, definitely shout out to Folded Waffle for linking us together. I appreciate everything that you do. I love how engaging, this whole thing was, and and
yeah.
I'm ready to collab. Just let me know, bro.
Yeah, man. As soon as we get off here, man, I'm gonna hit you in the DMs. We've been kind of chopping a little bit anyway, and we gonna get that collab together and work on something nasty, man. So shout out PG, man. It's your guy Flamingo Fred, the Bird of Paradise podcast, man. Thank you for being on. It's really good chopping up with you. I'm gonna hit you. We're gonna get it together on that collab.
Sounds good, bro. I'm ready.
All right, peace out, homie.